All right, Bunker Labs, welcome to another all-in interview. We are all in for you as entrepreneurs to continue to move your businesses forward. My name is Liz Marion. I am the Launch Lab Online Community Manager, and today I am joined by Chris Hoffmann. Welcome.
Hey, Liz. Thank you for having me inside this all-in initiative in this campaign. I'm excited to be here and dive into some key things that could help out during this time of crisis.
Yeah, definitely a time of uncertainty. And that's why, we're doing this campaign to hear from you, from entrepreneurs that are in our network, that are able to offer some advice and crisis management, if you will. But Chris, first, just give us an introduction to yourself and kind of your military affiliation and your company as well.
Yeah, so my name is Chris Hoffmann, and I am a Marine Corps veteran. I'm a crayon eater by trade. That's my fallback. Hey, if I don't know what I'm doing, I fall back to the orange crayon. I like to eat that. I served from 2008 to 2012, originally from St. Louis, Missouri. And I was one of those guys that, was a small town country boy, wanted to get out of the small town, go and shoot guns, drive big trucks. I was a motor T operator for the first 2 years I was in the Marine Corps, and then actually got reclassed to a combat cook that I actually created an awesome trade to now serve my fiance in better ways now versus just driving big trucks. Now I got the best of both worlds with that. Did one deployment to Afghanistan, which I was a part of a quick reaction force and a small FOB in Afghanistan, lived in Japan for 2 years. So I got the full experience. Now I got out in 2012, had a hard transition. I sold anything from Kirby vacuums to AT&T cable and internet, door to door, working 10-hour days. Talk about being in the trenches and being resourceful and doing a lot with a little, getting rained on a lot, to even, being a sales trainer and climbing up the corporate ladder, consulting to actual Microsoft marketing companies inside the real estate industry out here in San Diego, to now pivoting into my passion, my purpose that I've been building for almost 3 years now. And I'm proud to say that we've built one of the largest personal and professional development online veteran communities in the world, and called the Ambitious Vet Network, where we are seeking to solve the problem of veterans. What are they lacking after financial stability is not a problem 3+ years after the military service? And how do we bridge that gap and have them feel like they're living on purpose with passion? So that's what we're doing right now.
That's awesome. And we will be dropping links to where you can find Chris and his company as well below. So Chris, in your opinion, because you are an expert on helping these veterans transition, helping them find the resources and finding the gaps, what do our military connected entrepreneurs need to keep doing right now in this uncertain time?
Yeah, so I would say fall back to collaboration, something that we're already good at. One thing that we did, and Liz, I don't know if you know this, but we actually provided your all-in campaign in our last month's newsletter, because we see you guys as the key expert as far as business resources for veteran entrepreneurs. So we were just like, okay, well, how can we be creative like Bunker Labs and maybe provide a pathway for an ambitious vet to plug into Bunker Labs business resources, and then maybe for leadership development, add our pathway in and call it Empower. So find ways to look at companies that are forward thinking like Bunker Labs are, or other social impact or community-based organizations that are forward thinking, and find out how your skill sets, how your products, how your offerings could tie in with what they're trying to do. And you'd be surprised. The money, the funding just naturally shows up. But right now, it's about building trust with brands that are not contracting, but actually figuring out how do we innovate during these times, if that makes sense.
I think that's a great point. Innovate, collaborate. I love those two words. They're action words, which is, pertain to the military community specifically. But also, what are you hearing from your community, and what are entrepreneurs telling you, and what would your advice be for them to stop doing certain things so that they can really move forward during this time of change, really?
Yeah, that's great. So a lot of what our audience inside of our Facebook communities and even, our listeners to our podcast are saying is they're learning how to adapt to working from home, right? We are social creatures, so we like to associate in person, right? We're emotional creatures. We want that yeah, that dopamine rush when we feel that connection, right, in person. I mean, there's not the same connection in person that we have on Zoom, right? We get somewhat of a virtual connection, but we want to feel that connection. So a lot of them are just like, how do I run a Zoom meeting? How do I actually work from home and still be productive? How do I still figure out ways to move my team forward, or find ways for funding, or ways to shift my product to where it's from a physical product to, a virtual product. And what I tell them, and what we've been coming up, because I'm a guy that doesn't think he has all the answers. I'm a dot connector. I love to connect the dots. And I'm just like, figure out your assets that are right in front of you, right? What have you already put the time and effort in? Because I promise you, this is a great time to slow down and just look at all the capital that you've built up, human capital, social capital, all that kind of stuff, and figure out, okay, let's see what they're doing. Who's contracting, who's moving forward, and where are the gaps and what they're up to that I could potentially provide innovation? How can I help them become more efficient, more effective, help them save more money? How can I help them make more money during these times? So, that's kind of what I've been providing them as far as mindset hacks and stuff like that.
That's great. And, to both of your points of this is a great time to slow down. It's a great time to refocus. So what should our entrepreneurs start doing? And what have you started doing in your own business that's maybe different from what you were doing a couple weeks ago?
Well, I mean, we were completely in a strategic planning mode during these times. As I told you offline, Liz, we're about to move to Frisco, Texas, and start diving deep in networking, and probably plugging in with the Bunker Labs chapter out there as well. And, what we had to do is we had to sit back and be like, okay, during these times of needs, you can't just sit back and allow people to suffer and, just get into this like victim mindset. We were just like, what are the assets that we've built up last year? Where are the brands that are forward thinking and thinking innovation during these times? And what can we provide? So what we did, as far as, an example, is we did a 10-day being bulletproof challenge, mastering the inner game, 10-day Facebook challenge last year to generate leads for our online personal leadership development accelerator for any ambitious vet out there. And, pretty much we funneled our audience from Facebook into that challenge. And we gave some automated email backend through MailChimp is the tool we're using. It's very cost effective, very cheap, to make sure that they're staying on pace with every general order, as I call it, because I'm a Marine, general orders, we need structure. And to make sure that they're constantly utilizing tools like the feedback loop, acting according to their core values every single day. So they're constantly in this forward thinking and living from their passion. So they wake up and they're still feeling productive. They're still feeling fulfilled and all that stuff. So how do we empower them with our expertise is pretty much what we've been doing.
That's great. So last word to you, Chris, about what are you utilizing right now? What are some resources for our entrepreneurs to be using? What are some of the mental tools and tricks you have for what we're going through right now, being stay at home?
Yeah, I mean, I would say independent thinking, right? You can't do group think right now. And group think looks like starting your day with media, ending your day with media. Get to the facts of things. I can send you a link right after this around one of the top venture capitalist firms in the world. It's I don't want to even try to pronounce it. Companies like that, and they have really good facts, official resources and readings actually show you what's actually going on in business. I mean, we can only control what we can control, and what you can control is your mindset. So I would say create a new morning and evening routine to just figure out what you're thinking and feeling during these times versus everyone else, right? And just reflect on this. Give this time to be reflective and be creative. And if you're having problems being creative because you're in this fear-based way of thinking, which we all are falling into every single day, at least at some point of the day, I know I am, reach out to Bunker Labs, reach out to the Ambitious Vet Network, reach out to these innovative brands that want to empower you or inspire you to stay in action during these difficult times.
That's great advice. I love that point. I'm going to reiterate it, that something you can control right now is your mindset. We are used to dealing with this in our military connected community, of dealing with things that are outside of our control, whether it be where you live, where you're stationed, or time commitments. So controlling your mindset. Chris, thank you so much for your time and for contributing to our community. We really appreciate it. We are going to drop links to ambitious vets below, so make sure that you check that out and check Chris's organization out.
It's been a blast, Liz. Thank you.